Hello student, today we are going to study NCERT Geography Class 8 Chapter 2 Land, Soil, Water, Natural Vegetation and Wildlife Resources. In the previous video what we have learned about how the resources which used to help us and how we are using the land. Like on the 30 percentage of the land on this planet earth we all the human beings live over here, so you can think about how the distribution of resources are unequal. It is undistributed. We need all kind of resources. If the population is very much high, we do not get excess amount of minerals which we can divide it in all the human beings. So for that we have to consume them for our present purpose also as well as for the future purpose also. So all these things we have discussed, like everywhere the land topography, their structures, their color, each and everything were different. Then we discuss about the soil. Like in the soil, how the parent rock is there, how there is a different kind of structure we have. Like it starts from the parent rock, then you can start the soil, then you will find the upper belts, then where you find the different you can say minerals. Then each and every place there are different climates. So there are all the things which we have discussed in the previous video. Now in the today's in the second part of the video, this point we have to discuss. First is the mulching, then the counters barriers, then the rock dams, then the terrace farming, then the intercropping, then the counter plugging, then the shelter belts, then the water, then the problems of water availability, then the conservation of water resources, natural vegetation and the wildlife, biosphere and the ecosystem. So in this thing, like this are all the part, or you can say that this type of agriculture we are doing in India. So one by one we will read this, then I will tell you what the things are, then how much water is available on the planet earth, and all the humans being get excess of the how much they have to drink the water, how much percentage of pure water we get and how much percent of pure water we do not get. If we talk about the problems of water availability, so we have the water available everywhere, but not that much. We are only using 3 percentage of water, that we will also going to discuss in detail. If we talk about the conservation of water resources, in the conservation of water resources, like how we have to do the rainwater harvesting, how we have to make the check dams, how we have to make the canals. So these are the things that we have to conserve the water for like for present purpose as well as for the future purpose as well. If we talk about the natural vegetation and wildlife, so we have different vegetation and wildlife everywhere where we can see the different kinds of things that the people are doing. So these are the condition which we see. Then the biosphere we can see and the ecosystem. So you have the like little bit idea of biosphere and the ecosystem which you have read in class 6, that the biospheres mean the kingdom of plants and animals and the humans where they come and meet together, where they have the narrow zone which they used to meet together, like land, water and air, they used to meet with each other. If we talk about the another thing, just like if we talk about the this biosphere means the immediate surrounding or the living organism or the life where the humans and plants are interdependent on each other, they can't live without him. If we talk about the ecosystem is the immediate surrounding of the humans, of the plants, of the animals, where they used to come, they interdependent on each other. Like from the plants, we used to get numerous of things. From the animals, also we get the numerous of things. Animals are also dependent on the humans as well as on the plants, but mostly they are dependent on the nature. So all the points we're going to discuss on this. You can see on the page number 14, it starts from the degradation of soil and the conservative measures. So these are the measures which we have to discuss, like soil erosion and depletion are the major threats to the soil as a resource. Both the humans and the natural factor lead to the degradation of soil. Factor which leads to the soil degradation are deforestation, overgrazing, overuse of chemical fertilizer, pesticide, rainwater, landslide and floods. So these are the things which we can see that the factors or leads to the degradation are deforestation. What do you mean by the deforestation? Deforestation means the cutting of numerous of trees. If you talk about the overgrazing, overgrazing in the sense if you took the animals toward the grass eating, that it's called the overgrazing. If we talk about the overuse of chemical fertilizers, if we are using more and more chemicals and the pesticide in the agriculture, it used to become the dead, our land is the dead land. We can't get or utmost of use of that particular land, because if we are using more and more pesticide, if we are using more and more chemicals, the land it become permanently, you can say, dead after using the utmost amount of chemical, utmost amount of pesticide. Now we talk about the next point is the mulching. What the mulching is? Mulching, where you can do the different kinds of cropping pattern, different types of cropping pattern you are using, where like you can get the different kinds of crops you are growing, then after ripen up, then you are harvesting. So first we start with the mulching. The bare ground between the plants is covered with a layer of the organic matter like straw. It helps to retain soil moisture, means like you have the ground like this, and between that you use a straw, or you can say the organic straw, by which the soil moisture can't left, means एक ऐसा खेत या एक ऐसा ग्राउंड जहाँ पे प्लांट इज द लेयर, प्लांट इज कवर्ड विद द लेयर ऑफ ऑर्गेनिक मैटर, जो यानी आपने यहाँ पे बीच में प्लांट्स लगाए और इसके चारों तरफ एक आपने स्ट्रॉ की एक बाउंड्री टाइप्स बना दे, जिससे आपके सॉइल के मॉइस्चर खत्म ना हो. अब बात करते हैं द सेकंड पॉइंट इज द काउंटर बैरियर्स, मींस stones, grass, soil are used to build the barriers along the contour. Drainage are made in the front of the barriers to collect the water. Means nearby your this agriculture, you made the stones, grass, soil are used to build the barriers. Like you take this example as your field, and from the stone, grass, and the straw you are using to make a barriers by which trench are made in front of the barriers to collect the water. Rock dams. Rock are piled up to slow down the flow of the water. This prevents the gullies further the soil loss. Rocks are piled up to slow down the flow of water. ये जो rocks डैम्स जो आपने बनाया उससे क्या होता है, वो वाटर के फ्लो को रोकता है. If there is a too much flow of water, then our agriculture land is also going to erode with it. So we used to make a rock dam, why? Because we can store, or you can say we can somehow जो पानी है वो बहता हुआ ना चला. रॉक डैम इससे बनाया जाता है जिससे कि पानी को रोका जा सके, टू प्रिवेंट द गलीज एंड द फर्दर सॉइल लॉस. इफ वी टॉक अबाउट द टेरेस फार्म, वेयर वी डू द टेरेस फार्मिंग, utmost we are doing the terrace farming in the hilly areas, in the mountain areas. Why? Because they where they will not find the flat land, because if on the terrace if in the mountain areas, if we're doing the terrace farm, by which they can do the agriculture, like the water flow they do not come on the particular on the land, by which they can grow the numerous types of crops. So then this broad flat step of terrace are made on the steep slope, so flat the surface are available to grow crops. They reduce the surface run of the soil erosion. So you can see this terrace farming on the figure 2.5. This is the where if you went in any of the hill station, you will find the terrace farming. It's like kind of a terrace where they used to make a barrier with the stones. Like by that, when the water used to come, it can't happen with the soil erosion. The soil will remain at that particular place. They can do the agriculture and they get a good amount of growing crops, or you can say they get a good kind of the crops. So these are the things which we saw that. If we talk about the intercropping, what do we mean by the intercropping? Different crops are grown in the alternate row are the shown at the different times to protect the soil from rainwash. At the particular field, you are growing different kinds of crops. Like if you are growing somewhere A crop and here you are growing the B crop, and in between that you have just give the distance of 2 feet. यानी आप एक फील्ड में दो तरह के क्रॉप्स उगा रहे हो, जैसे कि ए क्रॉप या बी क्रॉप, और उसमें आपने कुछ फीट की जगह रखी है, जिससे कि आपका जो सॉइल है रेन वॉश के होके ना चला जाए, और आपको सब पता चल सके कि आप किस तरह की क्रॉपिंग कर रहे हो और लैंड का ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा यूज़ कर रहे हो. तो दिस यूज टू कम इन द इंटर क्रॉपिंग. नाउ कम टूवर्ड्स द काउंटर प्लगिंग, दैट द प्लगिंग पैरेलल टू द काउंटर ऑफ द हिल स्लोप टू फॉर्म अ नेचुरल बैरियर फॉर वाटर टू फ्लो डाउन द स्लोप. यानी ये जो पहाड़ी इलाकों में होता है, जहाँ पे पैरेलल लेवल पर ये बैरियर्स बनाए जाते हैं, जिसमें आपका सॉइल कंप्लीटली फ्लो ना हो जाए और इसमें आपके स्लोप पे जो पानी है वो बना रहे. Now the next one is the shelter bed. In the coastal and the dry region, rows of the trees are planted to check the wind movement to protect the soil cover. Now what the shelter belt is, you can see there is the number of trees in a particular queue, or you can say in the particular line, where they can stop, or not a stop, they can like somehow they can barrier it, or the flow of the air. How can they flow barrier flow of the air means, अगर बहुत ज़्यादा तेज हवा आती है तो उससे भी क्या होता है, बहुत से जो आपके एग्रीकल्चर होता है या जो आपके क्रॉप्स होती है वो उड़ जाते हैं। इस वजह से पेड़ लगाया जाता है जिससे हवा का फ्लो क्या हो, थोड़ा सा कम हो। इट इज मेंशन ओवर देयर इन द कोस्टल एरियाज, यानी जो समुद्री इलाके होते हैं, जो ड्राई यानी सूखे रीजन होते हैं, वहाँ पे हवा बहुत तेज चलती है, इसलिए ट्रीज की रो लगाई जाती है। एंड प्लांटेड टू चेक द विंड मोमेंट टू प्रोटेक्ट द सॉइल कवर, क्योंकि सॉइल कवर को बचाना बहुत जरूरी है। इफ काफी ज्यादा तेज हवा चलेगी तो वो अपने साथ मिट्टी को भी उड़ा के ले जाएगी। सो दे यूज्ड टू प्लांट द नंबर ऑफ द ट्रीज इन द पर्टिकुलर रो बाय व्हिच they can stop, or you can say they can somehow they can stop the flow of the wind, and they can protect their soil cover. Now we talk about the next, the utmost important part is the water. Like without water we can't live. Only like 70% of water is available on the planet Earth, but all are the ocean water, that is you can say salty water, a saline water which we can't drink and which is not good for our health. If we drink that water, we will going to die in a few years. We are not going to survive for a longer time. And what the water is available on this planet earth, on this particular land, like in the form of river, in the form of lake, in the form of pond, by which we all the human beings, we all the population which we live on the 30% of the land, which we drink only the 3% of pure water we get, or you can say the clean water. Rest of the water which we get, it's a kind of the contaminated, you can say, or you can say there are the some lots of impurities are there. Each and every human being, if you take a particular person, he used to use the water like for the drinking purpose, for the cooking purpose, for bathing purpose, for washing clothes purpose, for washing the utensils. These are the numbers of ways which they are using it. So you can see here like water. Water is the water renewable natural resource, which yes we can renew the water again and again, because if the water is, if we can't renew the water, if we, on the daily basis we do not get the water. If we talk about the 3/4 of the Earth's surface is world with covered it is therefore apparently called the water planet. Yes, it is the water planet. If you go in the space, you can see a planet which it looks like blue in color. It was a primitive ocean that the life began almost 3.5 billion years ago back. Even today, this ocean covers two-thirds of the Earth's surface and support a rich variety of plant and animal life. The ocean water is, however, saline and not fit for the human consumption, which I already explained. Because of the saline water, or which because of the salty water, if we drink that water, then we are going to ill and we can't survive for a longer time. Freshwater accounts only of 2.7%, which has already told you about the 3%, but the exact is 2.7% the pure water is available. Nearly 7% of the occurs as the ice sheet. Yes, that is true. The on the land surface, the water which is available, 70% are in the form of snow, and the due to their location are not inaccessible, only 1% of fresh water is available and fit for the human use. So can you think that only 1% of water all the human beings can drink that and can survive that? It is kind of impossible. Like we are in the number of the people and we can't drink only 1% of the water, because 1% of water can't get to each and every person. In this, it is the found of groundwater or as a surface water in rivers and lakes, and as a water vapor in the atmosphere. Fresh water is therefore the most precious substance on the earth. Water can neither be added nor be subtracted from the earth. We can't add it, or we can't subtract the water from the earth. Its total volume remains the constant. Abundance only seems to vary because it is the constant motion. Because abundance is the sense, the meaning of the abundance is there are lots of water on this planet, but we can't consume it. We only consume the pure water. You can say the clean water. Then why which? Is it in the constant motion, cycling through the ocean, the air, the land, and back again, through the process of evaporation, precipitation, and runoff. This, as you already know, is referred as the water cycle. Yes, you have the idea. You have read in the EVS, you have read in the science, and you have read in the geography as well what the water cycle is, how the water cycle used to form. Like from rain used to come, then you collect the river is the water is collected in the river, then particular from the sun rays, then water used to become by the precipitation or the evaporation, then it used to become a precipitate or the clouds, then after that the rain it used to come back again. So this is the form of the water cycle, which you have the idea what the water cycle is. If we talk about the next, this is the table where they talked about how much water we are using, and the particular family or the particular individual or the isolated person use the water. You can see this table, the drinking water in liters per person per day. Drinking is like 3%, sorry, 3 liters. Cooking like 4 liters. Bathing 20. Flushing 40. Washing clothes 40. Washing utensils 20. And gardening for 23 liters. So think about it, on the particularly we are using 150 liters. An average urban Indian use about 150 liters water average. Think about it. Every individual of India per day basis we are calculated. So we are using 150 liters of the water. Now there is an interesting fact. Have you ever heard about the water market? Amreli city in the Saurashtra region with a population of 1.25 lakh is completely dependent on the purchasing water from the nearby the talukas. See, this particular region is in Gujarat. The Saurashtra region, the place name is Amreli, where the 1.24 lakh person live. They do not have any kind of water, so they totally depend on the nearby the villages where they used to buy, or you can say that they used to order that we want water. So everyday basis the water used to come from the outside the area. Now problems of water availability. So we are here see the all over the world, not only India, that water, like water scarcity or you can say shortages of water, the problem is everywhere, not only particular in India. If we talk about the Africa, if we talk about the US, if we talk about the Mexico, if we talk about any of the places, everywhere you find the that there is a shortage of water. Here we can read, then we will see what the things are. There is a scarcity of water in many regions of the world, like the most of the Africa, West Asia, South Asia, part of Western USA, Northwest Mexico, parts of South America, and Australia facing the shortage in fresh water supply. Countries located in the climate zone most susceptible to drought face great problems of water scarcity. Thus, water storage may be consequences of variation in the seasonal or the annual precipitation of the scarcity caused by the over exploitation and contamination of water resources. What they try to say is in each and every these places, Africa, South Asia, West Asia, or you could take the Mexico. These are the countries where the what like some there are annual water is there. Then if we talk about that, when there is no rain, they don't get any kind of water, or by the contamination of water they do not get this kind of things, because by the contaminate they do not drink that kind of water, but due to the over you can say the evaporation and the precipitation they do not get the water. What they do is they used to make the dams, they used to make the check dams, they used to make the canals to conserve the water. If they do not conserve the water, if we over exploit it, or you can say if we overuse of the water, then the one day will come we do not get a single drop of water. So these are the problems faced by all over the planet, or you can say all over the globe in each and every country. So they use the different ways by which we have to conserve the water. So this is the topic, conservation of water resources. There are different ways which you have read in the previous classes in the EVS subject in science, as well as in the SS also you have. But here we were going to learn in deep that why need to we make the dams, why we need to make the canals, why we need to make the this one check dams, and different scientific method we have to use to save our water. The first one is the conservation of water resources. You can see this the river Yamuna, how it is populated. The people used to live nearby the city, like you can take the Delhi, you can take the Gurgaon, you can take the Agra, you can take the Mathura. Here is the Yamuna river flow, and it is very much polluted that when the people used to do the agriculture over here there, the agriculture that they found the utmost of pesticide, utmost of the chemical in that particular crop. Even the human used to eat that, they suffering from any kind of disease, which is they used to take their life. Like somehow they, if you take the example of the particular human being, once upon a time in the news that I saw that if the people used to live in Delhi or in the Gurgaon, because of the pollution and because of the overpopulation and because of the dirty, you can say a contaminated water, or you can say the overuse of land and using the pesticide and chemical in the food, their lungs become completely black, because when they used to breathe the air from the environment, so the pollution level is that much high that their lungs become black. And if they want to live, like you take the example, if they want to live up to the 60 or the 70 or 80 years of the age, that 10 years or you can say that 5 years is less because of this uh, pollution, because it's contaminated water, because of the overuse of the land, because of the overusing the pesticide and the chemicals in the fish. So in the conservation of water, access to clean the adequate water source is the major problem facing the world today. Step have to be taken to conserve the dwindling resource, even though water is the renewable resource. Yes, water is the renewable, we can renew it many a times, but it's for overuse and probably make it unfit for the use, discharge of untreated or partial treated sewage, agriculture chemicals, industry effluent water bodies are the major contaminants. This pollutes the water with nitrates, matters, and the pesticides. So these are the things which we are using. Now we talk about the water sprinkle. Every now and then, I think you have saw the water sprinkle in the temples where they have the gardens, or you can see in the agriculture. You can see this is the sprinkle water that we do not have to waste the water. By the sprinkling, without any human effort, the water used to get to each and every place, to each and every plant, or you can say to each and every crop. So this is what the water sprinkle. Most of these chemicals are non-biodegradable, reach to the human body through water. Water pollution can control by treating this affluent suitable before releasing the water bodies. Means what we have to do is, this is the government duty and as well as the our duty. Nearby the bank of the river, we do not have to set up the factories, we do not have to set up any kind of, you can say, the chemical factories by which they used to contaminate the water. So we have to stop that. Like the at least the clean water we get, marine animals as well as the then the animals, and we talk about the humans, they used to get the clean water, they can't die because by drinking the contaminant, so we have to clean it. So these are the things which we can see, that the forest and the other vegetation covers the, so the surface runoff the replenish the underground water. Water harvesting is another method to save the surface runoff. The canals used for the irrigation field should be properly lined to minimize the losses of water seepage. Sprinkles effectively irrigate the area by checking water losses through the seepage and the evaporation. In dry region with the high rates of evaporation, drip of the trickle irrigation is very useful. The valuable water resource can therefore be conserved by adopting these means of irrigation. So these are the things where how we conserve the water, by making more and more rainwater harvesting, by making the canals, by making the dams, by making the check dams, by making, by stopping or building up the you can say the factories, and the different ways in which we this can help us, the what we have to do and what we do not have to do. So these are the certain scenario in which we can save our water. Now come toward the next topic, the natural vegetation and wildlife. Natural vegetation, which means which we used to get naturally, which used to help us, like we have to do the vegetation of the different kinds, and it will help all the things we used to get from the nature. In this chapter, we will come to know about the different world, what kind of natural vegetation we used to get. And if we talk about the wildlife is what, the certain things it or the certain boundaries which made by the government in the forest, by which they can save the wild animals. Because in the earlier times, if we talk about in India before the independence, number of the kings, number of the Britishers, number of the people, for the welfare purpose or for to the entertainment purpose, they took the gun and they used to kill the animal by hunting, and they used to get a pleasure that we do kill that particular animals, by which they saw that we are the ग्रेट वॉरियर, यानी हम एक बहुत बड़े योद्धा हैं, तो ये चीज वो शो करते थे, बाय विच द नंबर ऑफ द एनिमल्स बिकम एक्सटिंक्ट. लाइक इफ यू हैव हर्ड इन द न्यूज अबाउट द टाइगर्स, if we can't save the tigers, one day will become that none of the tiger will survive on this planet. So like number of the for saving the tiger, for saving the rhinos, for saving the elephants, for to stop doing the tusk, the tusk business, for stopping the for the tortoise business. All this stuff is stopped by the government of each and every country. So they make the wildlife sanctuaries, they make the bird sanctuaries to save the wild animals, to save the birds before, because if they're going to extinct, we are not able to get to see the other animals. Just like if we talk about the, if we talk about the dinosaur, that story is different. Some said that because of the asteroid used to came over the our planet Earth, so we don't see the any of the animals. Like we talk about the dinosaur, dinosaur because get extinct because of the asteroid. But nowadays we see that because of our human effort by cleaning or by killing, not a cleaning, by killing and by hunting the number of animals, we are going to extinct one day. So for the natural vegetation and the wildlife, we are going to cover in the next lecture what the in detail. But first you have to keep this in mind. Natural vegetation is what, which the things we used to get from the nature, and by which we can do the numerous kinds of things, in which like we can do the different kinds of vegetation from which the people used to get the variety of food. If we talk about the wildlife, I already told you there is a forest. The government used to make the boundaries in which they used to appoint a one forest officer to look after the that forest, and they look after the none of the other human beings come inside that forest and they do the hunting. They can allow the wildlife photographers, they allow the researcher purpose, but don't allow any of the hunting personnel to come in the forest and do the hunting, because we have to save the wildlife, wild animals and the wild birds and the bird sanctuary. If we can't save them, they're going to extinct one day. So we have to preserve all these things, our natural vegetation, our animals, our birds. And in this chapter, we're going to learn at what particular country, what kind of birds you find, what kind of animals you find, what kind of vegetation you have. All these things you will find. Now come towards the biosphere. In the biosphere, which I already explained, that the life, or you can say the life of the humans, the life of the animals, they used to come with the contact with the environment, or you can say they come with the surrounding where the land, water used to meet, and where the air used to meet. That becomes the biosphere. Land, water, air, human, plants. This you will used to come meet together. Then they used to make this thing. If we talk about the ecosystem, ecosystem means where the immediate surrounding of the humans, of the animals, of the plants, they used to make this thing by which we can see the how the people are helping hand of, or they are the interdependent on each other. Humans are dependent on the plants, or you can say that it dependent on the environment, and environment is not dependent on us, we are dependent on the environment, because each and everything we used to get from the environment. Partially we can say that yes, nature is dependent, we are dependent on the nature. If we talk about the animals, yes, they are dependent on us, we are dependent on them. If we talk about the things which we get from the environment, just like the water, air, then we talk about the soil, if we talk about the land, if we talk about the sun rays, all these things which we get from the air, it used to come in the ecosystem. There are the certain things which we have discussed in this chapter, that what are the things we have to cover. So this is the second part of the video of this chapter. Now till now what we have covered in this chapter, first we discuss about the degradation of the soil, that is the mulching we discussed about, then the counter barriers we talk about, then we talk about the rock dams, then we talk about the terrace farming, that most of the terrace farming you find in the mountain or the hilly areas. Then we're talking about the intercropping means you grow the one crop, and by giving the some distance of 1 or 2 feet you see the second one. Then we talk about the counter plugging, then we talk about the shelter belts, then we talk about the water. The water is utmost important for us. 70% of water is available on this planet Earth, but only 3% of water you can say the purely available, where all the population of this planet Earth is dependent on the 3% of water. We are drinking this kind of the water like if the individual, we talk about the individual person, he or she is using 150 liters of the water every day in the cooking, in bathing, in washing the clothes, in washing the utensils, in you can say for gardening, and all the scenarios where they are using 150 liters per day. But here we are discussing this data is of Indians, where the particular Indians or the individual Indians using the water 150 liters. For saving the water we have to do rainwater harvesting. We have to do conserve the water by making the dams, by making the canals, by making the check dams. So these are the things which we have discussed in this chapter. That the water is a precious thing. If we erode utmost amount of chemicals, utmost amount of pesticide, then the water become contaminated. If we drink that water, we're suffering from the disease. If we can't survive on this planet for the longer time. So we have to save the humans, we have to save the plants, we have to save the animals, we have to save the birds. All these things can be survived with the water. If we talk about the next topic, that is the conservation of water, so which I already explained, we have to conserve the water for a very splendid time. We can't conserve it in the future purpose. It would go to help us, and one day it will come. The water is completely exhausted on this planet. Then we talk about the vegetation and the wildlife, that the natural vegetation which we get from the nature of the different kinds. Then we talk about the wildlife. Wildlife is to protect the wild animals and the birds which will not hunt by any of the human, then we can save them. There is a biosphere and ecosystem. So these are the points which we have covered. I hope you like this video. Thank you.